This is Profit Mindset, and today we uncover the real story of finance, the truths, the myths, and the secrets behind money. What do we mean by finance? In this video, finance is not just money, it is the machinery that moves money around. It gathers savings from people like you and me, puts them together, and lends them to those who need funds. Finance becomes international when money crosses borders. For example, when British citizens lend to foreign governments, or when businesses in England raise capital from overseas investors. Governments are usually the largest borrowers. That's why international finance is often about one nation's citizens lending to another nation's government to build railways, ports, or strengthen production. Capital and its price. Money that is saved and then lent or invested becomes capital. The price for using capital is called interest or profit. Borrowers pay this price because they expect to gain, whether by growing crops, running factories, or expanding trade. But some borrow not to grow, but to cover overspending. That path leads straight to bankruptcy, for them and for their lenders. If capital earned no return, no one would save. We would spend everything or hide it away, and industry could not expand. To understand finance, we must understand the role of capital. Today, capital is often criticized. Some call it unfair or even exploitative. But capital only deserves blame when it is misused. In reality, capital is essential. Without it, no industry could survive. Some argue capitalists exploit labor. They sit idle while workers sweat. If that were true, all finance would be nothing but organized robbery. Bonds, shares, and loans would be crimes. But this view misunderstands what capital is. Economists define capital as wealth set aside for production. Money is only a claim, a right to buy goods or services. If I lend instead of spending, my claim fuels new industry. Yes, the capitalist lives on the labor of others. But how did he get the money? Only by working or by inheriting from someone who worked before. Capital is stored up work. It deserves reward, just like work done yesterday deserves pay. Imagine a shopkeeper who saved £100. He could buy a motorcycle. Instead, he invests in expanding a boot factory. What happens? Builders earn wages, machines are produced, workers make boots, and the shopkeeper receives £5 a year, not as charity, but as the reward for saving and helping industry grow. The critic's view. American economist Scott Nearing drew a line between service income and property income. He claimed property income, rent, interest, was unjust because it let people earn without labor. But to own property in the first place, someone had to work, save, and invest. Capital doesn't appear out of nowhere. The weak spot. Inheritance. Here, capital shows its weak side. A father works, saves, invests. The son inherits and enjoys income without effort. That feels unfair. Sometimes it spoils the heir, making him idle and arrogant. But inheritance also drives people to save in the first place. The desire to leave something behind is a powerful motivator. Where bad capital comes from. Not all capital serves industry. Some fortunes come from gambling, flashy ads, or useless products. Why? Because we pay for them. Our gambling enriches bookmakers, our greed fuels shady investments, our bad choices make charlatans rich. Capital flows where people spend. The blame lies with us as consumers. Capital as seed. Capital is like seed grain. If we eat it all, there's no harvest. If we save and plant, the future yields more. Industry works the same way. Savings become tools, factories, jobs, and the more capital flows, the more demand there is for labor. Capital is not fraud. It is not the enemy. It is a tool, and everything depends on how we use it.